Friday morning conversation with
Keith Urban.
What do you say?
It's so weird being up here.
Because you're just exposed, you're just sitting in a chair?
Yeah, I'm used to sort of sitting with, instead of sitting for.
Yeah, you're definitely on display. Thank you for being on display. Keith Urban, everybody else here. Yes. How you been?
I've been good.
Have you been traveling at all?
We've been back and forth a little bit, yeah.
Does that mean because I saw that you were doing The Voice again in Australia. That's a long back and forth, though.
Well, I came back and we were there in July, end of July, when Nick started a film down there, which was a couple of months. And then she had a film in Ireland in November. And then we were back in Australia for Christmas. And then I started The Voice down there in February. But it was only 8 weeks. So we were done by middle of March and February, March, middle of April. And then we came over and I did the ACMs.
What do you do when you're on set with your wife and she's shooting? Do you just hang out in the trailer, or do you go and walk through the woods and write music alone with the birds?
Actually, I haven't been on the set in forever.
Oh, you don't go on
because
set?
there's so many COVID protocols in place that you can't just rock up there anymore. Not right now, anyway.
So you just get a hotel where she is, or do you just not see her?
The Belfast turnaround was really quick, so we didn't go, and then she was there and back pretty quick.
Hey, in your home lifestyle, because you do have two A-list celebrity superstars, do you have any chores? Like, do you have to actually do a chore?
Of course.
Like, what is a chore you have to do around the house?
Just taking out garbage and fixing things that break, and they always break.
Can you fix things?
I can fix a lot more than I used to. When you go to Australia, you have to do 2 weeks quarantine. And we were at our place, and I'm talking like where nobody can come in or out for 2 weeks. Hardcore.
Completely locked down.
2 police officers at the gate.
No way.
Government police officers.
Making sure you don't leave or no one comes in?
Both. 24 hours a day for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Crazy.
And you have to do telemedicine check-ins every day. So you're basically FaceTiming with your GP and showing everybody taking their temps and showing the result every day. It's crazy. But it works.
But yeah,
know?
right.
But the point of that was, man, things break. We have a house that's like 120 years old, so things break. I can't get anybody to come and fix anything. So I learned a lot about everything.
With your live show, I wonder if anything is going to be different now, because I've seen you play it many times, and you're just fantastic live. But there's a part where you run into the crowd,
Right.
and there are people everywhere around you,
Yeah.
and they're all spitting on you, and you're spitting on them. You know, it's a big part of the show, the Keith Urban Spit Fest.
It's making me question my whole past right now. But
But does that change at all for you for a bit when you go back live? You still hopping out in the crowd?
it's going to change a lot for everybody, I think, in some degree. And yet at the same time, I almost wonder if at some point it's just going to be very much like it was. At some point, I don't know why it would radically change. At some point, it's going to be like it was. That's my feeling.
Did you get a new tattoo? Did you get a new tattoo somewhere?
Yeah, I got one on my hand.
I think I saw it at the ACMs for the first time. When did you get that, and what is that exactly?
It's just, it's sort of a Polynesian type design, I guess.
That hurt on the hand?
Yeah.
Why did you get it? Because your other arm, you don't have anything that high up. Like
You're asking me about pain, and you're like a fight, grind, repeat
the
kind
different
of guy
though.
who do insane, crazy things.
Different,
So,
though. I pushed through-
Next might be getting a tattoo on one of the episodes, Bobby.
I have tattoos here, but mine are in places that don't hurt. That looks extremely painful. Do you go in and just go, I want to get this on my hand? I know what I want. Or do you walk into the shop and go, show me what you got?
This guy who I'd never worked with before just sort of freehanded with a pen.
You let someone freehand a tattoo on you?
With a pen, first of all.
'Kay.
And then I liked it, and when we committed to it.
Dang. And do you have someone come to your house or where you are and give you tattoos?
I got half of this at my house and the other half at his work.
Maybe someone on the show saw you at the mall before pandemic walking around the mall.
Uh-huh.
And they were like, we saw Keith Urban at the mall. We're like, there's no chance you saw Keith Urban walking around the mall. Do you ever walk around the mall?
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually Christmas shopping when Taylor Swift texted me and said she had these songs she was going to record and would I want to sing on a couple. I was literally in the food court at the mall reading this text going, all right, send me the songs. And I sat down, put my little AirPods in, was listening to these unreleased Swiftie songs, and it was crazy. The whole environment was bizarre, watching everyone walk around the food court while listening to these songs.
So she sent you the songs, because what I have heard, and I have friends that have worked in that camp a bit, that it's so secretive. Sometimes they will have someone come and bring you the song and play you the song and then leave.
Right.
But she just sent them to you over text?
Yeah.
She trusts you that much?
Yeah.
Should you be trusted that much?
She should, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And he's sitting there thinking, like, if any of these people shopping right now knew what I was listening to,
That's
they
what I
would
was
be
thinking.
freaking
Exactly.
out.
Yeah.
But also, I'm thinking Keith Urban's in the food court.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter what he's listening to. He's just hanging out in the food court.
Yeah.
You were a part of Fearless with Taylor. Does she text you or call you and go, hey, will you do this? And was that the text?
She texted me. Yeah.
And is it instant yes?
Instant curiosity, for sure. Definitely wanted to hear the songs. And I love the fact that both songs were unreleased.
Or when this song gets to you and you're going, okay, we're going to cut this, was it proposed as a duet? Or was that, it was
written as a duet.
Because some songs aren't, and it's like, hey, I think this feels better. But
Yeah.
did you have Pink in mind to start?
I was hoping she'd love the song.
Yeah.
And I'd never recorded anything with her, so she was just sort of always on my big wish list to try and find something. I thought maybe one day we'd write something, but this song came along and it felt right.
Has anyone ever turned you down?
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Who? Tell us all. List them.
Oh, you're talking musically now. Okay.
You said you don't have to tell us who, but you would send a song off and go, I think this sounds great, and they just are like, yeah, it's not for me.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Yeah, because sometimes it's just not. It doesn't suit. I mean.
Do you get personally offended?
No.
Never.
No.
Because I assume you have to turn people down as well.
Yes. Exactly. It's awkward, you know, but. You know, at a certain level, I don't think it's about the quality of the song. You know, it's just about my ability to be able to do it. Like, you know, does it suit me, basically?
Can you, in your mind, when you play guitar, can you hear any melody and just recreate it with your hands? Meaning, if I went ba da boo boo boo.
Wow,
Yep,
well, that's
can.
crazy. That is crazy.
He did it.
At what point? At what point does that happen in your brain when you're learning guitar, or was it naturally in you?
I don't know. I think maybe naturally to begin with, and then just years of playing.
Yeah.
And in my head, always playing. I realized even when I was in school, I was terrible at school. I realized why, because I was always playing guitar. I didn't need the guitar to play guitar. I was playing it in my head like all the time.
When you hear a song, could you go home, like one of our jingles goes, "This is the Bobby Bones Show." Could you go, "Yeah, I got that." No problem. Just like you know exactly where it is.
Right. Yes.
Prove it.
Where you at? You're in the same key every time. That's classic. This is the Bobby Bones Show. But it's something like that.
That's like a space alien. So here are my skills, my interplanetary skills, and we just can't identify. That's what that is right there.
I don't speak any other languages but English in this.
I'm sure there are so many people that come to you and go, "Hey, what is it, Cap or Cat?" And you'll think of me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, right from the beginning.
And the
It's
answer
always
is cat.
Cat. Take your cat. Yeah,
Cat.
T with the T.
Cat.
Yeah, he doesn't want the cat.
Right. Cat feels a little angrier. Would we agree with that?
Right, yeah.
Like a cap.
Yeah, I put up with the damn cat the whole time. You can take it now. Yeah.
Take your cat.
Exactly.
Okay, so as long as everybody knows, what advice do you give me as I'm about to get married? Not wedding advice. What is marriage advice?
Don't ask me that. I only know it works for mine. And it'll end up being like my marriage advice, which is not at all what it is. Everyone's got to figure out their own dance, right? Every couple just figures out their own dance. They really do. I mean, what works for someone doesn't work for someone else.
Didn't you at one point do a show, fly across, have like Nicole's birthday with her for a day, and then fly all the way back across again? That's a legendary Keith Urban story.
No, she was having an ultrasound because she was pregnant. And she was shooting the film called Australia, a Baz Luhrmann film. And it was being shot in Australia, obviously. And I was touring here in the States. And she was going in for an ultrasound. And I was like, well, I got this 3-day period in between. Because you lose a day when you fly down. So you leave here on a Monday, you get there on a Wednesday. And we were playing on the Thursday night somewhere. So I took off on Monday from here, landed Wednesday in the morning, went and had the ultrasound with Nick. We had lunch, and then I got on the plane and flew back like that afternoon.
Nice.
Were you so dehydrated? That is such a long flight.
It's the most bizarre question.
I mean, because when I fly anywhere, I get off and I'm just like, I'm so dehydrated. I've flown to Australia.
Right.
That is the longest flight I've ever been on in my life.
It's a long one. I realized that you travel a lot. When I was telling somebody a couple of years ago, I was talking about what we're doing, and I said, we're going to do this, and then I'm going to pop down to Australia. And they went, wait. Did you just say pop down to Australia? And I'm like, yeah. And they go, you travel a lot when you use the phrase pop down to Australia.
Yeah,
it is a long flight.
It's a long flight.
Yeah.
Who is it that you hear right now that you're like, damn, I'm so inspired by this? Because you're a guy who's always searching out, great new sound, great new music. Who is it that now you're like, man, I'm kind of on this right now, listening to it? Because you came in once and you told me about Hobo, and I became a big fan, and I was texting you pictures like, man, this song's great.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, who is it now?
Ooh, right now. I feel like I'm waiting for that thing. Yeah, I feel like I'm waiting for that thing right now.
Do you think that the situation we're coming out of kind of has everyone on hold, or has stifled creativity, or has created a different kind of sound? Like, any of your favorite artists putting out music that they made during the pandemic at all?
I would imagine a lot of what we're hearing right now is made during that period. That's a good question. I think it's going to run the gamut from songs, about that situation. We have a single out now called "Out the Cage," which was written in that time, but it's about breaking out. But it's not just about that. I think it's going to run the gamut of everything. A lot of escape, a lot of sadness, a lot of joy, a lot of hope, a lot of fear. I mean, there's a lot of trauma in a lot of people right now, really undercurrent, and just a desire for things to get back.
If I'm remembering correctly from listening to your record, "Out of the Cage" is that's a pretty fast.
Yeah.
Like that song's got a lot of energy to it, right?
Yeah, I took a sort of big inspiration from a lot of the 90s English house beat stuff, Fat Boy Slam, Prodigy. And I'm like, if I could take that rhythm and put it into my world, what would it sound like? And that's how we wrote that song.
That's interesting, too, that you can find inspiration in older stuff as well. Like right there, I mean, you're talking about two artists that I listened to 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Fat Boy Slam and Prodigy.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's an energy in those records, and you would agree with it, I'm sure. There's an energy in those records that is just, oh my God, it's exhilarating. It makes you want to either run, fight, break something, or I don't know, something. We're going to, we're running naked through the quadrant for sure.
Interesting use of words there.
Have you ever done that?
Well, moving on. No, I
Oh.
haven't done that.
No.
But that song makes you want to do that.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit.
We'll see.
Keith Urban is here. How about we wrap with
What's your marriage advice, Bobby?
I have none. I don't know.
What's your engaged advice then? What have
that-
you learned through your engagement, Bobby Bones?
I have literally learned that it is not all about me anymore. Because
Yeah, right?
and it's taken me this long to learn it. And sometimes she's had to crowbar me into situations. She's had to
What, give me one example of a situation.
Well, it's just not all my. I can't be selfish all the time about my life all the time,
Right.
and even some stuff that I used to just come on and be extremely public about. Now my life is our life,
right.
and I have to think about her too before I just am revealing certain things.
Yeah.
So on that aspect, but also making time to cultivate a relationship, because I will just work. I will wake up in the morning, I'll open my laptop, and I will spend all day working, and then I will go to sleep. My final movement is my laptop down. But there are now important things that I have to invest myself in for the future, not financially, but relationship-wise. And so that has been the biggest thing is I can't be as selfish anymore. And not about giving, but about as a person to another person.
Yes.
And I've been inspired by your story. When she has her ultrasound, I'm going to go to another country on purpose, fly over to see her, and then leave just so I can be like, this is what Keith Urban taught me.
I wouldn't know.
You want to do that?
I don't know about that, but yeah, you're right. I mean, that's it, isn't it? It's like putting the us first is the breakthrough.
One of the songs that we listen to a lot, and I've told you this privately, that God Whispered Your Name, is that song reminds me of her. And when we hear it, I'm like, this, and it's kind of one of our songs, like one of our, top 3 or 4 songs that remind us of being together. I'll wrap on this story. Once, and you may not remember this, I was doing some work for CMA Fest, and we were underneath. You and I were shooting some stuff, and I had my guitar, and I was doing some dopey stuff. with people, and you were like, "Let me see your guitar. I'll play it left-handed," and you were like, "I don't think I've ever played left-handed." And then you got, and it took you like, I don't know, 10 seconds of you to talk to your fingers and your brain, and you kind of reversed everything, and then you instantly were 10 times the left-handed guitar player that I've ever tried to be.
Oh, I don't know about that. So.
Keith Urban is here. We love you. Thank you for coming in. We're gonna play.
Thank you, Bobby Bones McGee.
Keith and Pink. We're gonna play One Too Many right now here on the Bobby Bones Show.
It's a Bobby Bones Show.